Hey guys, Emma here, also known as 8vinyllow, bringing you all another video. Today's video is going to be my response to the Blues Tag 2021. This was created by my buddy Chris over at Blues Guy Vinyl, and he has 20 questions for us, and right when this was posted, I knew right away I was in, 100% in. I had some people messaging me, are you going to do this? Are you thinking about it? 100% without a doubt. I'm jumping in on this tag. So right when this was posted, I started thinking about my responses. So Chris, just wanted to say thank you for coming up with these questions, and we'll kind of dig right into it right now. So there are 20 questions. A couple of these I kind of had to substitute my own thing because I didn't have what the question was asking, but we made it work, and it's just going to be a lot of good blues music here. So number one is show an electric blues album. Instead of picking one great blues album or great blues musician, we're going to have two of the all-time greats. So this is Albert King and Stevie Ray Vaughan in session. This was a recording that they did together back in the 80s, I think the early 80s, 1982, 1983. And this is just such an unbelievably fun, amazing recording of two masters of their craft playing together, playing off of each other, and just creating unbelievable blues music. So, of course, Stevie Ray Vaughan, right, playing with someone that he respects and admires so much, one of his greatest idols and influences in blues. It doesn't get any better than this. So, Albert King, Stevie Ray Vaughan in session, one of those great electric guitar, electric blues albums. Next one is show an acoustic blues album. We're going to go with Big Bill Broonzy Sings Folk Songs. This was cut by Smithsonian Folkways, and this is actually the Vinyl Me Please release. I was gifted this by Bill at the Vinylverse, so just in terms of this pressing and the sound, it's absolutely unbelievable. The quality is amazing. It sounds great. It's flat, it's quiet, it's everything that you want any record to be. Plus, it's Big Bill Broonzy and the blues. You know, Big Bill Broonzy, a huge player in the country, folk, gospel, Delta blues genre. Just an amazing, impressive, powerful voice, and just a wonderful guitar player and fiddle player too. So, had to go with this one for an acoustic album. All right, moving down, show a live blues album. This is one of my favorites. B.B. King live in Cook County Jail, of course, Cook County Jail in Chicago, Illinois. And this actually, I think when this was released, it did have some, it did chart on the billboards. It did pretty well when it came out. So of course, right, when you think of live albums and B.B. King, you might automatically think of Live at the Regal, but I also think that this one is absolutely amazing too. And I think the standout tracks on here, he does How Blue Can You Get, and then of course does The Thrill Is Gone and a couple others. So a great release from B.B. King. It's really fun to hear him banter, you know, back and forth with the crowd and the conversations that they have. It just adds to this. So you gotta love B.B. King. Next one is show a gatefold or a double album. This is both. This is the Prime Movers Blues Band, and this compilation of recordings actually came out a couple of years ago, I believe now. Prime Movers Blues Band was a 60s blues band coming out of the Detroit area, and if you look right here, that is a young Jimmy Osterberg. Berg, of course, later is known as Iggy Pop. But he did blues before he did the Stooges and everything else. So really cool compilation to have if you're a fan of his early recordings. But a great blues band, you know, definitely influenced by Chicago blues, Paul Butterfield Blues Band. As everybody else during this time was kind of moving towards the rock side of things, this band kind of stayed true to those blues roots. So fantastic album. Here's the Gatefold. And then, of course, like I said, it is that double album. So, actually, Jimmy lends his vocals to I'm a Man on this, which is a really good recording to have, too. So, Modern Harmonic, put this out a couple years ago. Totally recommend. It's not the best sounding, but Still worth it if you're a big blues fan or Iggy Pop fan. All right, the oldest blues record in my collection. This was one of the first records that I ever bought. This is Savoy Brown Raw Sienna, one of my favorite Savoy Brown records. Between this, A Step Further, Looking In, Street Corner Talking, those kind of, late 60s, early 70s releases, 4 or 5 of them, are just all absolute hitters, not a bad track off of them. It's also Gatefold. But this is definitely in my top Savoy Brown recordings. But this was actually recommended to me at one of my first record shows that I went to, and I picked it up and fell in love with this. So definitely one of the oldest records in my collection, and just a great release overall. Newest album in my collection, I just showed this. This is John Mayall's Spinning Coin. This was a later release in Mayall's catalog, and I called this a hidden gem. So a fantastic release by John Mayall and the Blues Breakers. This particular issue is a music on vinyl that just came out this year, a couple months ago. It's on that blue vinyl for the blues. But like I said, this came out, I think, like 1995. So later for John Mayall, but just an absolute killer recording. It has Buddy Whittington on guitar, who's played on a handful of Mayall records, and they do a fantastic job. So if you're a fan of John Mayall, definitely recommend grabbing this. Plus, it's music on vinyl. You cannot go wrong with their pressing. 7 and 8, I had to substitute because it's show a blues 45 and a blues 10-inch. I don't have those. So what I decided to do is pick a couple of my favorite blues CDs. So we have T-Bone Walker, Stormy Monday. Can't go wrong with this. Great collection of music. And then, of course, we're doing blues. I have to show Clapton in here. We're going to do Eric Clapton Unplugged. Just a classic. So good. Number 9, show the Chess Records label. We're going to go with a favorite of mine, the London Howlin' Wolf Sessions. This was like one of the first super sessions, blues sessions with British musicians. Of course, you have Eric Clapton, Steve Winwood, Bill Wyman, Charlie Watts. It doesn't get better than that. There's the Chess label. Doesn't get better than that. Show the Delmark record label. Have to go with Magic Sam Blues Band, West Side Soul. Also one of the best just electric blues albums ever, hands down. There's the label. Magic Sam, he's one of those figures in the blues scene and just music scene in general where you think, what if? He died fairly young. I think he died in his early 30s, only released a couple of albums. But like I said, this is one of the all-time great electric blues albums. So good. This one is number 11, show the Alligator record label. This is Buddy Guy Stone Crazy. This was a gift from my buddy Jeff Kempen. And what an unbelievable record. If you are a fan of the blues, which you should be, there's the Alligator label. This is a must grab, 100%. Pure heart, soul, energy. Buddy Guy just absolutely nails this. One of the greatest guitarists of all time. This is raw, hard, in your face, Chicago electric blues. Grab this album. Number 12 is show a smaller indie blues label. We're going with Joanna Connor, Rise, and this was released by MC Records. And I don't know a lot about this company, but Joanna Connor is an absolute virtuoso guitarist, blues musician. She is unbelievable. She's one of my favorite female blues musicians. I saw her open up for John Mayall in Milwaukee a couple of years ago, and it just blew me away. So, of course, I got this release. This was from 2019. If you haven't heard of Joanna Connor, I definitely recommend checking her out. She just released an album this year, I believe, or late last year, I can't remember now, which was really, really good. But just killer. There's a track on here called My Irish Father. Talk about virtuoso guitar playing. Unbelievable. So in terms of the small indie label, like I said, it's MC Records. I think when I was doing some research on that, it specialized in like American roots music, so that all makes sense. So we're going to go with that. Okay, number 13, a blues album in regional style. We're going to do Chicago, Electric Chicago Blues. I mean, you know, it's Chicago connection here. Of course, we got to do that. And the best of the best when it comes to Chicago blues. We're going to do Folk Festival of the Blues, recorded live. Of course, you have Muddy Waters, Howlin' Wolf, Buddy Guy. You have, you know, Otis Spanns on here, Willie Dixon. Best of the best with Chicago blues. This is a great recording. Obviously, it's recorded live. It's recorded in the 60s, so it's not the best sounding release. But if you are a fan of the blues, this is a must grab. I mean, I feel like I am sitting in this club with them on a hot summer night on Chicago's West Side, crammed, you know, jam-packed in a club, just listening to these guys. So it gives you just that you know, you're there feel, and just, like I said, some of the best musicians in the Chicago blues scene. So totally recommend picking this up. Just crude, raw, spontaneous blues from the masters. Okay, show a Psych-blues album. I could have picked a couple, but this one I've been listening to nonstop recently. We're going to go with Killing Floors out of Uranus. Of course, Killing Floor is a British kind of blues rock band, psych band, coming out of England, of course, British. And of course, taking the name from Howlin' Wolf's Killing Floor. This is their second release. I think they only released 2. I know that there is a reissue of their first album coming out either this month or next month. I know that got pushed back. I have that on pre-order. But this is a fantastic release. And the first one definitely has that blues rock feel. This one does too, but definitely starts to explore more into that psychedelic hard rock sound. So totally recommend this to anybody who likes psychedelic blues rock music. This is a must grab. Show my British blues albums, or show a British blues album. Come on. Come on. Okay, next one is show a king of the blues, right? B.B. King, Albert King, Freddie King. I want to show Freddie King, because a lot of people talk about B.B. King and Albert King, but Freddie King deserves some love. Actually, one of his albums is on my Grail list in terms of blues releases. So his Getting Ready is up there. I would love to find a copy of Freddie King's Getting Ready. That would be awesome. I stream it all the time because I don't have it. I don't have a physical copy, but it's just so good. But Freddie King, probably in my top 3 favorite blues vocalists. This man knows how to sing, so soulful, and has one of my favorite stank faces in blues music. I mean, when you see this guy play, he gets shipped off to a whole other universe. I mean, not even in the same universe. He's gone. So Freddie King deserves more love. This was a Record Store Day release from a couple of years ago. Really great compilation of recordings from Freddie. Such a very distinct, unique guitar tone, too. Okay, show colored vinyl. First off, what is it? We have the Super Blues Band, Howlin' Wolf, Muddy Waters, Bo Diddley. Again, a great compilation of some of Chicago Electric Blues' best musicians, but really cool in terms of the colored vinyl, kind of starburst, orange, yellow, feel-good type color on the back. I just listened to this again the other day. It's so good. The banner between these guys just makes this album worth picking up, just for the banner alone. Number 18 is Show a Recommendation. We have Muddy Waters, Folk Singer. This is Analog Productions, 45 RPM release, also on Chess Records. This was recommended by Jeff Kempen, and I remember him talking about this album and saying he felt like Muddy was in the room with him. So that sold me. I bought it that night, and I have no regrets. So I'm telling all of you out there, if you don't have this yet, this is a recommendation. Pick this up, okay? You're not going to be disappointed. This is one of the best sounding albums in my collection, hands down. So good. Best blues find and discovery. I recently posted my best thrift store vinyl finds, and this was on there. This is Little Walter, Hate to See You Go. Compilation album in mono, released in, I think, 1969. This is part of the Chess Vintage series. But this is actually a really hard album to find, and I found it for $1 at the thrift store. And this thing is in excellent condition, so can't beat that. Cannot beat that. Number 20, first blues album you remember getting, or album that got you into the blues. We have B.B. King, Completely Well. I recently posted a video called The Evolution of My Music Taste, and I talked about albums that got me into music and different genres, and this was one of them. This is the album that got me into blues music, and specifically the song The Thrill Is Gone. Before I heard that song, before I was exposed to kind of B.B. King's music, you know, I didn't really know about the blues. I had never listened to it before, but I remember listening one day to The Thrill Is Gone, and something just clicked. It connected. I got goosebumps. I got the chills kind of running up my spine. I felt the blues that day. And so after The Thrill Is Gone, I definitely had to seek out this album. I picked this up. And from there, obviously, we're here. And you just saw it's part of my blues collection. So, but this is where it all started with me, and it definitely started with B.B. King. That is my response to the Blues Vinyl Tag 2021. Again, I want to take time to thank Chris over at Blues Guy Vinyl for putting this tag together and coming up with these questions. I have to tell you, it was a lot of fun kind of revisiting my blues collection and trying to come up with answers to this tag. So I hope that all of you are doing well. I hope that you enjoyed this video. I will see you all for my next video. Bye, guys.